Hello, and welcome to Around the Political World with John Rothman. I am your host, John Rothman. If you're a fan of the show, make sure to hit the follow button on the top right of Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you are listening at this very moment. When you hit follow, leave a review or share an episode with a friend. It helps other people discover the show, keeps us going, and as I like to remind you each and every day, it expands our base. Well, those of you who are regular listeners know that I'm going on vacation. Tomorrow will mark the last podcast until September 2nd. Now, let me tell you, it's not easy for me to go on a vacation because there's so much going on in the world. But let me begin this morning with some of the stories that I think are important. First, Donald Trump in Georgia. Can you believe, Georgia being a critical state, that Donald Trump, still vindictive, still angry with Governor Kemp, has decided to take him on? And what does he do when he goes to Georgia? He blasts Governor Kemp. The Republicans in Georgia are going to have a hard time carrying that state. And now they've got Donald Trump making their job even harder. Can you figure it out? I can. Donald Trump has grudges, and he keeps those grudges close to his chest. And he reveals those grudges in unguarded and, yes, even guarded moments. The biggest problem Donald Trump has in this campaign is his own inability to control himself. So let me tell you, I think this attack on Governor Kemp, silly, ridiculous, hurts him, and Republicans should be aware that this may just be the beginning of Donald Trump and the campaign of 2024 making major mistakes. And we have a new book. Nancy Pelosi has published a new memoir. It comes out tomorrow. I have not yet read it, but I heard the interview she did, and I have to tell you something. I can't wait to read the book. It will be a fascinating insight from Nancy Pelosi, the first woman Speaker of the House of Representatives, and arguably to this day, one of the most powerful members of the House of Representatives. Nancy, I can't wait to read the book. And of course, today or tomorrow, we're not sure which, we're going to have an announcement from another powerful San Francisco woman, Vice President Harris. She is going to reveal her vice presidential pick. Well, I'm going to agree with some who have said that we don't vote for a vice president, we vote for a president. There is no bad choice for Kamala Harris to make. All the candidates are effective, powerful, able to carry their weight on the ticket, and she will, beginning shortly, go on the campaign trail with whoever her vice presidential running mate is. Frankly, I can't wait for the reveal, but more important, once the reveal takes place, we'll be able to get down to the serious business of this campaign. We'll know who the candidates for president and vice president are on both tickets. And boy, oh boy, it's going to be an exciting season. Of course, the Democrats have already made their decision. They have voted already that Kamala Harris will be their nominee for president. Now, a lot of people say to me, that is, Republicans say to me, well, it's not very democratic. Of course it's democratic. We were talking about this when questions were raised about Joe Biden, and I suggested to you then that Kamala Harris would be the nominee of the Democratic Party. This is really a fascinating moment in American politics. And let's talk about another fascinating moment. The markets are plunging. Do you remember when James Carville, back in 1992, said, "It's the economy, stupid"? Well, it's not just the United States. We're seeing this worldwide. Now, I always remind people that what goes up goes down and what goes down goes up, meaning that even though the market is going down now, who knows where it will be in a week or 2 weeks or a month from now. We wait to see what the markets will do. Will it impact this election? Most assuredly. And certainly, we have to wait and see what the impact is. What we do understand very clearly is that Americans vote pocketbook issues. Are you better off today than you were 4 years ago? That was the question Ronald Reagan posed, and it was a devastating question for Jimmy Carter. So we're going to have to wait now and see the impact of the economy. But let me assure you that every stockbroker, every analyst I know says, sit tight. What goes down will eventually go up. And when you follow the markets, you know that the trend is forever up. And now let's turn quickly to the international scene. We will see today whether or not there is a major shift in the Middle East. Israel is on alert. They are now fighting a four-front war. Those four fronts: Hamas in Gaza, Hezbollah in Lebanon, the Houthis in Yemen, and of course Iran, which is responsible for all of the support for all of those determined to destroy Israel. We know that Israel is prepared for the worst, and we know that the United States is committed firmly, by word, by action, and by deed, to helping Israel defend itself against those who are determined to destroy her. This will be a fascinating moment in terms of where the world goes when it comes to the Middle East. And on another continent, far, far away, Antarctica, there is a story which is not getting headlines because, frankly, there's too much else to talk about. And that is a record heat. This is the second time recently when we've had this record heat in Antarctica. What will it mean in the long term? Well, that continent that is a frozen continent seems to be unfreezing. And it seems to me water levels are going to rise, and we're going to see a major change in climate. I know there's nothing we can do about it, but we'd better be aware that it won't be the world in which you and I live in, but it will be the world in which our descendants live. And I'm worried. Of course, the world has been through this before, but now we face a different world, a world of technology, of intelligence, of universal contact. It's going to be an interesting time for all of us. But let's remember that in this campaign of 2024, the question of global warming, the question of the stability or instability of our climate, just talk to people in Florida these days, it's a fascinating question. No particular answer, but a lot of questions. So this is Around the Political World with John Rothman, another sense of issues that I see as critical. And, of course, tomorrow will be my last podcast until September 2nd. You think you're going to miss me? Let me tell you, I'm going to miss me too. But don't worry, I'll be talking to my wife, and she'll get a sense of what I think. Anyway, and I guess I will get a sense of what she thinks, which is perhaps even more important. Thanks for tuning into another episode of Around the Political World with John Rothman. Make sure to follow along and let me know your thoughts on the show by leaving a review on Apple Podcasts and sharing an episode with a friend or colleague. You can contact me on Facebook and LinkedIn. And of course, my special appreciation to the wonderful producer of this podcast, Gogo Zoger. Well, that's it for today. I will be back tomorrow. Then I'll be away until September 2nd. And believe me, the political world will continue to turn. And I can't wait to see where we go. See you tomorrow. Around the Political World with John Rothman is proud to introduce our first sponsor. That's right. We have someone who loves what we do, and I have to tell you, I love what she does. Be Bold America is produced by KSQD, and of course, the person who leads us through these great discussions is none other than Jill Cody. She's an author, a radio personality, and she does one heck of a job of putting into focus major issues, from protecting democracy to our climate. Let me tell you, the topics on the podcast are serious. It's not for the faint of heart, but that's to say, the show is for all of us. Be bold in America. In an election year, what can we do to increase discussion, debate, and the rest? I'll tell you what we can do. Listen to Jill Cody as she exposes all of us to the issues. You can tune in on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, or wherever else you like to get your shows. So this is John Rothman, delighted, pleased, thrilled to endorse Jill Cody's wonderful program, Be Bold, America.